Now, let's think about this. We want to solve this guy using the zero factor theorem, but it doesn't equal 0. I have to add the 14 to the other side, right? Now, if I do that, where does it go?
2x plus 1x minus 5 plus 14.
Let's put it at the end.
That's right. That doesn't matter.
You can put it at the end, but you have to be careful, because a lot of students will put it at the end, which is good, but they somehow turn into, they forget that once you put a plus 14 over here, this whole guy is not factored anymore. What you need to think about, and this is the analogy that I always use, is that when you have this, it's like you've gone packing. You've gone on a vacation, you've already packed your stuff, right? But then you see that you've left your underwear and toothbrush on the bed. You forgot to pack that. Now you could go ahead and go where you're going and hope that they have some kind of store where you can purchase underwear and toothbrush. Although those are not necessities, you can always have a weekend going commando. And I actually shared a hotel room with a guy one time who did not bring a toothbrush. So his solution was to chew Big Red the whole weekend. That's a true story from another decade. But what I would do is that I would unzip the suitcase
Put it in there.
and then pack the stuff, right? So when I say unzip, I mean foil. So when I foil this, I'm going to have 2x squared. Outside is minus 10x. Inside is plus x, and the last terms will be minus 5. Now, let me add the 14 back. Let me pack my 14, right? So those guys cancel. What do I have on the left side when I combine my like terms?
2x squared minus 9x plus 9.
2x squared minus 9x plus 9. Is that what you said?
Yep.
Very good. And this equals what?
0.
Right, because this is still an equation, so you have to make sure that you write it as an equation. Now I need to factor this guy. The first thing I look for is a common factor. Is there a common factor to take out of this? No. But being a trinomial, I expect this guy to factor has 2 binomial factors. Now you know that 2x squared only has one way of breaking down. What is that?
2x.
2x and x. What do you know about the signs here for these factors? You have to multiply to get a positive 9. So they have to be the same, in this case both negative. Right? Now think about these factors for 9, because you want to break down the 9. Factors for 9 would be 1 and 9, or 3 times 3.
3 times 3.
3 times 3 has a common factor of what?
3.
Does 3 go into the middle coefficient? Then I need to use 3 and 3. So does it matter where they go? No. Does that work out? On the inside you get negative 3x. What do you get on the outside?
6x.
Does that combine to give you a negative 9x?
Yeah.
Then we're right. So what do I get here? What does x equal?
3.
X equals 3, or x equals what?
3 over 2.
3 over
X equals 3 over 2.
Write it like that.
I can't write it like what?
So you have there'd be a bar separated, not like a slash.
Well, since
You're
there's
almost picky about it.
since the 3/2 is not written as a coefficient of x or anything else like that, I can write it this way and I'll be okay.
I write it like down the test, I don't want it to be like minus 5.
I won't. However, if it's showing up as a coefficient for a variable, you better make sure you do it the right way. For example, since Tosh seems to be all about the fractions, If I have 1/8 x squared minus 1/4 x minus 6 is equal to 0. So I have to make sure that I satisfy my constituents. I know you guys don't like equations that contain fractions, but frankly, I don't care. I'm the one who's in charge here. You do what I say. That's right, I'm a tough guy because I can pop my knuckles. Now, when we had equations like this in the very first week of class, we had ways of taking care of these, so I didn't have to worry about fractions. What did I do? What's the common denominator for everything here? Understand that the common denominator is not the same thing as a common factor. I'm not looking at what goes into each denominator. I want to find a denominator that these guys can all go into, that they can all be converted to.
Can't you take out 2 because they they're all multiples of 2?
1/8 and 1/4 are not multiples of 2. If you had to combine an eighth and a fourth, what would be the common denominator? 8. Thank you. So that's what I'm going to multiply everything times, right?
Right.
Common denominators is not a new concept for us at this stage of the game. So what I said in the very beginning of this class is we can multiply everything times the common denominator. And when I do that, all of my denominators should clear out. So what does this guy become now?
8x squared.
It is not 8x squared.
X squared.
The 8's
X
reduce.
squared, X squared.
Minus 2x
X squared minus 2x because 8 over 4 is 2.
minus 48 equals 0.
Minus 48 equals 0. Oh, well, now that you write it that way, I mean, no problem, right? What are you going to do now? How does it factor?
X plus 6x
6 and 8.
minus 8
X plus 6 times x minus 8,
Yes.
equals 0.
which means x equals what?
0. Oh,
Negative
sorry.
6.
X equals negative 6 from here, or what?
Positive 8 and 8.
X equals positive 8. So even though we have fractions, we can still reduce these guys like we had done before. So, like, 4 goes into 8 twice, and you don't have any denominators left, and it makes it very easy. We've done these guys before when they were just linear. Now that they're quadratic, the rules are still the same. Any questions about these?